Welcome, I'm Bill Wake. We're working on a financial planning application, and lately we've been wanting to add persistence, and we've had to do some redesign to make that possible. Part of that redesign is something we're calling Planxty for now. It's going to be Plan eventually, I think. Trying to get that work in views. We really struggled yesterday. I think I see at least a partial path out. We'll see. All right. And I'm sorry I'm late. I was off somewhere with no phone or internet to try and address it. Okay, so we were stuck on plan tree, I think. No? Plan tree view. No, something list view, plan list view. All right, and then the other thing I got involved was spike view. So way back when we did a spike of a hierarchical structure so we could figure out how to make an outline group work. And we did it in a way where we put the top level entry in a section. All right, so I don't know if I can, well, what we had before was section.children or else empty. Okay, so what I did was I took the section out instead of going through they're not really categories at this point. They're really, well, the top level is a category, but we're going to take out the section header and just let the outline group do the stuff. So we are working on section, and the insight I had, or the suspicion I had, is that this, because it's an expression, it's not like a variable you can take the address of. It's a runtime expression that could be one of these two things. And so talking about taking a binding or putting the address, taking the address of that doesn't really make sense because there's no kind of named entity that's not, the entity is on the stack kind of. So I thought, oh, well, maybe this is, if we go through the section itself and not break out the headers, it doesn't look as pretty, but I think it might work. So I don't know what value is, but children is children. And then I just extracted this X view just here, just the same stuff. So I'll just comment this out for a moment. Okay. Let's get the Fiume app. Okay, so spiking is true. So when I run, we're going to see the spike code's going to run. So what I think happened was this expression, since it's not a, I don't know, it's not an expression you can talk about. What happened when you said children was you ended up getting a non-writable key, just a read-only key to the thing, even though the outline group calls for a writable one. So I don't know if there's another variation I haven't seen that allows read-only access in an outline group, which does make sense. But I think we ended up triggering that one. Okay, so here's clothing, and what I did was I put a count on here, okay, to say we've got 2 top level items. Now, if I do an add, I added a button for that. Notice count is 3. So adding stuff to the top level triggered it. Unfortunately, I can't add to the lower levels, but at any rate, this is working. There's, everything compiled, it's accessing it. Now, I don't know what it thinks this. It still reports this as, oh, it is a binding. Okay, good. All right, because before, when we had section or children, let me see if I can put that back. Yeah, it wants binding tree conforming to random access, and it just is not happy. Okay, so this works in that sense. Notice our old our Fiume version had kind of a nicely formatted line, and it put this in uppercase, and it was a little darker, and you could really tell it was a new section. we lose that when we do this. So we got something to come back to, but I'm willing to give that up. All right, now I did a little bit to put this in plan list view. I think, yeah, so I commented out this code. Well, let me turn off Fiume app. Turn off the spike. Let's get you over here too. Well, we're probably done with that for now. Okay, so we'll turn off the spike. And then in plan list view, I commented out the section. I deleted this and I said, oh, use $plan tree, which knows the dollar makes it a binding, and then bound with the children and so on. Now, I don't think this one said it was a binding. It is. Okay. Gosh, I don't know. Yesterday I have the impression it was saying it wasn't, and no wonder. But I think this gives us something. Okay, so this is basically the same deal. I commented out the section, front and back, and I put the tree in, you know, the entity in the for each as the focus of the outline group, showing it to children. Okay, and well, let's make sure it kind of works, and then we'll. Coat Rushed, welcome. Let's see. So we were digging out of a big hole yesterday, so we'll see if we're digging out any. All right. So now this used to be formatted a little nicer and dark, kind of gray, and all that stuff. I put something somewhere of a text. I don't know if I did that yesterday with you all or whatever, but trying to understand how these things update. So what this shows is the top level thing is my finances, and it's got the children. It's an optional empty list, okay, which is what it requires to work with outline group, which I don't appreciate in some ways, but it's what it requires because it wants to distinguish a leaf that's a file from a leaf that's an empty directory kind of thing. Okay, so now we have this thing. Before we weren't even compiling, so we're compiling. That's progress. Let's add in a stream. Okay, you get a salary, $1,000 a month, and let's create that. And I guess you want to focus on this blue line that's at 0 now, because it doesn't go anywhere. It stays at 0. Ugh. Okay, but what I see here is we did have B4 with empty children. Now we have B4 with this new child on it, the salary child. Okay, and so that tells me two things. One is it tells me the tree is now altered because it's got new things in it. The second thing it tells me is, well, it tells me three things. The second one it tells me is, hey, that ID didn't change. I had sort of assumed that if a struct fields changed, that the whole thing got regenerated, and so a new ID would be there. Okay, that is not the case, which is disconcerting a little bit. Okay, and I think that explains why this line is still at 0. What I think is going on is it's adding everything, and our list is it contains the income streams that we declare or expenses, but it doesn't trigger an update somehow, at least as far as this goes. And this is my working theory. I don't know. So if you know, tell me, please. Spent enough time yesterday lost. All right. But yeah, this address not changing is definitely worrisome. So let me add another. Let's get ourselves in a nice annuity. This is why we only need $1,000. Okay, so, and maybe it starts. Oh, I'm not going to worry about that. Okay, let's start it in 2030. So we got an annuity that's kicking in. All right, now, yeah, so it's still B4E7. It's got salary, it's got annuity, but these nodes are not changing. So I believe that's why this did not trigger an update. Okay, so I think our first thing is we have a tree again. Let's fix that, and then let's focus on the downstream side. I think I'll take this out because now that we know this ID is not changing, we know the the parent level object is not changing. So we had originally done classes, and we had an array that was an observable object holding a class that was an observable object. Because the way the classes were, well, we maybe could go back to that, but we switched to a struct with it's a composite kind of thing. So it's a tree structure, but we just made all the fields there. So you would have a child field even if you didn't have children. You would have a stream field even if you don't have a stream. Okay, it's kind of a compromise because the persistent stuff doesn't like inheritance. So at least the stuff I read on it, what we found on it said that wouldn't work. So a protocol with classes and some inheritance beneath it was kind of right out. All right, so let's at least clean up this. Okay, so I don't need that stuff. Children, tree. I'm going to take this. Oh, before we leave, okay, I think that's clean enough. Let's try and get these arguments back in shape here. Where's your, okay, plant a tree. Tree. That. Okay, something should be unindented, I think. All right. Now, the next thing I want to try, I still would like my section back, and I may not get it. But what I'm going to try is, we were saying plan tree, this is the section, but what I want to try and do is see if we can get the children in here. So now, like if I say, well, if I do this, I'm going to get 2 levels, I think. I don't know if I can format my way out of this. I'm going to have the same header twice because it once for the section header that the for each is putting in, and then once for the outline group. Let's verify that. But I don't know. We do have a preview on this. Maybe that would be the way to go. I was very happy to see Xcode 16 is going to make preview and run build off the same thing. Okay. So yeah, we have my finances twice. Very hokey. Okay. But what I wanted to try was, instead of plan tree, can we take plan tree dot children bang? Can I do that? Cannot force unwrap of non-optional type. Is it this? No, maybe not. Because children is an array of trees that the whole thing is optional. Okay, so that's not working. I'm going to give it up for now. In some other world, I'd be happy with it. Okay. Plan tree. Okay. I don't know what the formatter wants from me. Multi-line should have their surrounding brackets in a new line. Okay, like this. That's Swift lint. Okay, maybe it's this one. Okay, and let's go find that the obnoxious print that's somewhere. Let's try content view. Network, that's okay. It's not the chart. How did I get it there? That's okay. None of these are looking like. Maybe it's a print I did somewhere. Hmm. I don't know if we have any prints. There it is. Oh yeah. Okay. I didn't think that would show up on the screen. Oh no, it doesn't. It shows up down here. Okay, that one can stay. Some possibilities. That seems like it should not. Okay, where is that coming from? I don't think I've got it. Now, why are you messing up? Okay, well, net worth. Oh, yeah, that's it. Okay. All right. That's different. Okay. Yeah, you're right. It was just in that text. Okay, now I know what's going on with these test ones. Right. So notice before the outline group showed up a little more in the header area like this with the sections. So annoying. All right. But so what I put in here was this possibilities. Let me finish this. So this is a test. Does our sut have add? Sut is make possibilities. Now, I don't know. That looks like adding a tree right there. Let's do a test run. Well, I'm so excited for new Xcode, but I've been having these weird errors from it. Sut, let's make that a var. I think you should tell me that in the method. Is that all we got? No exact matches to, oh, add, okay. I bet he's got, no. What the heck? Orchard, oh, this is the old test. Oh no, that's the right test. Orchard is not the way we do things at this point. All right, so we got to modify the test for this. Let's see. Let's get to Planxty. Okay, so what we did yesterday, well, in the last day and a half anyway, we had our original plan type. Let's see if I can get down there. We had protocol plan tree, we had plan stream, we had plan composite with two children, Antry and Ortree. We got rid of that. Well, we didn't quite get rid of it. We're trying this second approach. Well, actually, our second approach was up here. It's an enum with three cases, and these last two are recursive. They have lists of plans. The problem with that was there's a lot of duplication, and it's kind of hard to get past it. But we looked at that and said, well, let's try it with just one struct type and make this composite. There's a form of composite where you kind of fold everything into the same node, and we did that. So it's got the burden of carrying a stream and the children, even though a stream has no children, and some of our other things, the and tree and or tree, don't have streams. So we're paying that extra price for that, and a little complexity because we have to have an enum to sort out what thing is coming. So what we're going to do is change these to make calls to make and make or. All right, so let's try this. And this is Planxty dot make or. And I forget the arguments. Just the name. Okay. And then after we have it, we'll call a pad. Okay. Make or jobs. Or tree.append is var. And this has to be plan make stream. And Planxty is just an Irish ode, basically, a song. And I just ran out of words with plan in them. That's all. We'll get rid of it. Turn it all back into plan shortly here. Okay, so over tree, this has to be Planxty.make or and Planxty.make stream. Oh, it's there. That's a var. Or tree. Okay. Planxty make stream. That's a local helper. Okay. I think we're good. And we'll run tests. Okay. I'll leave that extra print in there for now because it's going to be for our next debugging thing. I don't know why the editor is not doing its job and deleting spaces, but okay. So our tests are all green. Let's commit. And then we're going to clean out those two versions of plan and plan tree that we're not using. So switch plan tree to Planxty. Go from a class tree to a struct. Okay. But not, but charts are not working. Okay, so I'm kind of breaking a rule here. I think we'll benefit more. We can roll back to yesterday if we have to. Okay, so let's commit all that. And I don't know, we'll walk through it real quick here. So plan tree, that's got the new structure. Lots of places that used it have to switch over to that type. We do bindings instead of bindables. So again, we're switching over to the type, passing a binding, create group. I think this is all very similar challenges on the UI side. Okay. Now, plan list view, this is the stuff with the outline group. Not doable. This situation means these are not editable children and not bindable children. So we did that. Plan tree view still has to kind of work its way through what type are you. It chooses the view based on that. Okay, I don't think there's... oh, the tests, yeah. There's our spike. Who cares? All right. Okay, and then plan tree. Now we're just kind of pure refactoring. I'm going to say no one should be calling this. I don't think anywhere. Yeah. Well, I don't trust Xcode either, but we'll take this one out. This we still need. This is our new one. And this is our old one. Okay, so now there are tests. I'm kind of using this to find my tests that'll break, but some plan tests or something. No, that can't work. Did that really run? Oh, preparing, okay. Yeah, I think this is better than the enum variant too. I agree with you. There was just so much duplication, even though, I mean, again, if I could declare fields in my enum and just carry them along, I've wanted this any number of times. You end up with every enum has the same initial parameters. In this case, they all had UUIDs. We could have made them all had strings. And then you end up still having to do the case statements to tear them apart and figure out how to do it. Really? Oh, still preparing. Okay. Yeah, it just got messy. And then we didn't even try and use it. I think, to the extent those cases get exposed on the client side, the client then has to do that. I don't know if we would have or not. We had everything behind functions, but, Now, I think our functions, we kept the names basically the same. The creation's a little different of these objects, but most of the actual code didn't get affected by it. Not until we got to the view side where structs and classes are treated differently. Like, what are you doing here? Okay, this is because we're using the Swift testing package before it's released and integrated with Xcode. So if it decides, oh, I should recompile that, we're in for it. And apparently file 71 is not an easy one. Okay. Well, I think I can find plan tree tests, right? A plan tree. Okay, so we have a Planxty. And we're using a test convention from Jeff Langer where your tests are either called a or an or maybe somethings. And then your methods kind of describe the verb and maybe a little bit of context. So mostly it reads pretty good. A Planxty makes a leaf, a Planxty makes a composite, all that kind of fits. All right, but I think we kept, I'm surprised, I thought we kept, there's some red bars. Okay. Yeah, there's our A plan tests. So that was for our enum. All right, there it finally woke up to that. And then the old tree. Okay, so we'll delete those. And I think that's going to be all those. All right. Try that again. Hey. Yeah, I thought you had sold your computer and switched over to the other side. I won't say the dark side since you're a friend now, but okay, so we got rid of two classes basically. So eliminate unused plan and plan tree, which was old, and their tests. Now using Planxty, we'll rename it. Okay, so push that. So that's that nice stage of the refactoring where you remove a couple hundred lines. Good. And let's do the rename. Plan tree, where'd my plan tree go? Oh, there it is. Okay, so I guess we'll do the file. call this plan. Let's do a build. And I try and remember to check in right after I move files. You know, it just keeps things simpler and cleaner. Okay, so renaming it. I guess I could have done the test at the same time. Are you really uncommitted? Let's do this one now. Okay. And this class really is kind of the heart of things because, well, you have this tree structure you build that's, you know, if you have, well, let's say you want to do scenarios, you build up different scenarios underneath the tree. Each of those can contain more scenarios and so on. So that's a tree, but then this class turns that tree into what are all the possible scenarios generated by this. And that's kind of the complexity of the system, I guess. All right, so we did another rename. Let's try staging it this time. Rename a plan tree to a plan. All right, and now let's get that. Oh, well, we can do that too. Okay, I'll let the tool do this one. It can figure it out, maybe. No, it can't. Oh, there it goes. Okay, so this is just plan view. Okay. All right. Now plan. Let's do this one first. There shouldn't be a plan class kicking around anywhere now. Okay. And then, I don't know, there might be a plan type. No, good. Okay. Come on, Xcode. Yeah, I like the new features, but it'd be okay if you just made everything work too. All right, and then there was one more thing. This was part of our experiment to get the path, and I don't think anybody's using it at this point. Well, we'll let it test first. Wow. do the full clean on it. Rename failed. Oh man. Like, it's a little late to tell me that. I can't tell if it's really building or not. I guess it is if it's building that many things. Closure spacing. Okay, I don't care about that one. That's all right. And this was our spike. Yeah, we can take this out. Okay, I skipped lunch. I'm going to eat a cracker in the background here while it's built. Okay. Well, I'm cheating a little bit, but okay. So rename, we did plan tree view to plan view, Planxty type to plan type, and Planxty to plan. Okay, good. Okay, now, okay, let's trim down. I think plan list view is a good thing to look at. I'm going to close other tabs. Okay, so the problem I want to address, well, okay, I didn't run tests again. I better do that. Sorry, before I start changing too much. And these messages, right, so when I was very struck that our sections never got set again. Okay, so let's run this, and we're going to see possibilities once. I don't think we see it after that. So this was kind of helping me prove that it really didn't update. So we got one copy there. We'll add salary. Oh, I got to turn off this autocorrect. It drives me nuts. All right. Okay, so this should, well, it creates it. I changed this icon too, just because the circle plus we had before I thought was a little confusing. I don't know if this is better or if a straight up arrow would be there. Maybe straight up would be good. All right, but anyway, you get a salary, but this doesn't change. Oh, this does change. Okay, I am so confused. Kitty Sushi, welcome. We're working on this program to help you track your finances kind of 5 to 30 years out. And we just changed, we're trying to get persistence in, and we made a big change. Excuse me. We just finished wrapping up a big change in types, and we're trying to understand why that change means our graph doesn't update. Excuse me again. All right, so we don't know why the graph isn't updating, and we're trying to figure out that. But what we can see from this is this got a new value. All right. Now I'm thinking this is not actually used. Oh, it is. Salary builds net worth. I don't think it is. This one is. Yeah, financial application. So the idea is you're going to set up a list of your salary and so on. You can set dates. Right now it says unchanged, but we can probably find better wording for that. But the real thing that kind of sets it out is we have the notion of scenarios. And so let me add Social Security. And now that's, we said that was scenarios. My icon is not right. Did I click scenario? Let me try again. Scenarios. Yeah, I think that's what I did. Okay. Well, we should see. But let's say you take two situations. Well, let's say you're either going to get 100 a month. Ugh. Okay, thanks. So one version of Social Security, you get 100 a month. That's pretty terrible. And then another, maybe you get 5,000 a month. And I can call them the same name because they're independent scenarios, so it's fine. All right, and we'll create that. We could tie it to ages, but I haven't set up a person yet and all that stuff. So what should happen at this point is this should become a graph with two lines on it. One that we got the salary the whole time, but then one increases by a little bit because we got a small Social Security, and the other increases by a bit. And you could do another set of scenarios. Maybe this was you and your spouse has another set, retire at 62, 67, or 70 in the US anyway. And if you did those three scenarios times these two, you'd have 6 lines. And, all we have is 1 and it's stuck at 0. So that's why we're trying to figure out what's going on. Now, possibilities is the object that owns, it owns the plan. So each entry I put in, when I put it income or scenarios or the things under scenarios, more income streams, those are all plans. And there's really the top level plan is my finances. Everybody else comes underneath that. But what's weird is this tells me it's being set every time we add something. So our top level thing is being set, but its ID is not changing, and that's just weird to me. I'm not sure what's going on there, because my model of struct was if I modified it, I was getting a new instance because structs are kind of value types, and so I thought it would reallocate a struct and copy everything but the field I changed. I don't think that's what's going on. I think it really is just mutating the field that you said to mutate. And I don't know. So this is the scenarios. If the plan changes, that should change. Now, wait a minute. Oh, okay. When we initialize, we append this plan. And the entry says keep all these. So if you added multiple streams, you would keep all of them. Yeah. Okay. Thanks. So I don't know, like, how if this did set detects the change in plan, right? Somehow, let's see if I can format this. Is it like this? Somehow, we should be able to set something that, yeah, if well, it's sections that changed. Except we never added another top level node. So like plan, maybe my set should be on, maybe plan is the one that's a problem. Yeah, that's what I think I'm seeing. Maybe this is a good time to do a spike. Because if that's, we should understand that. I mean, at least I should understand that. Is that what you think happens? That it should do copy everything except the field it's mutating and not generate a new one? Whoops. All right, let's take this to true again. Let's get over to spike view. I've got a button on here somewhere. Yeah. Let's just add a button called alter, and let's just make a little struct. Counter var value of int mutating func increment. We'll give it a field of let id equals uuid, and this function calls value plus equals 1. Okay. Let's just start it at 0. I'm going to confuse myself now. What's counter? Counter the variable. Okay. Spike view is private. Why is that different? For parameter count in call. Count of counter. Oh, maybe I should say equals. Okay. Right. So alter. Let's say print before. I don't know what I get if I just do it. If I get all the fields, count dot increment, and after count extra new line. Okay. I'm wondering if maybe because it never changes. Okay, CF with a value 0, CF with a value 1. Yeah, that's the way structs work. Wow. I thought the whole point of them was that they would update every time and generate new ones. Okay, so, well, that definitely is interesting. I mean, that's pretty minimal reproduction, and I'm totally floored. All right, and this is why I don't see how it ever works, but when you change plan, well, when you change sections, what does this do? Right now, it's just got 1 in it. We want more later. Now, what my interpretation is, sections is being changed somehow, even though we don't know. The ID is not changing, which may be bad, but I don't know how to change every ID in the hierarchy if one on the bottom changes, right? It seems like we should just be able to edit the bottom. All right, so possibilities set. Right, so I think we don't know if plan is changing. I guess that's what I'm concluding here. So let's do the same thing here. Oops. Plan. Okay, and this was plan set. Plan. This might blow up a little. Why aren't you complaining about my optional? Single space inside each brace. Okay. I guess if you're happy with it, I'm happy enough. But yeah, thank you. Let's do plan dot children. And I think you can map an optional. And let's run like that. Plan has no member name, huh? Oh, I think it's parenthesized. I guess it doesn't. Oh no, it does. What are you doing? Oh, array of plan. Well, let's just print plan.name. Plan.name. And let's print his ID. What else has he got? Yeah, that's not called. Let's take that out. A little bit off topic. Okay. Can I do plan.children question.count? Okay, so if we had one stream, theoretically, if we're doing this right, let's see what we got so far. Possibilities got set, plan did not get changed. Be like generous. Okay. Plan did not change. So how is it possible that section changes let me see who calls this. This is so weird. Now, I thought we used it. And I don't think anybody calls this at this point. Plan list view? Okay. Well, okay, that could be. All right. So what I was hoping, this function is called by chart and clearly depends on plan. But if plan is never changing, then that's clearly never going to trigger this code to update. I don't think. I mean, I'm not perfect on how this works, but I believe add observable is supposed to go through your fields and say which ones get used and, which ones do I need to monitor. Now we can see sections is changing and it knows it because it calls did set every time we add something. Plan, which section contains, I don't know. Plan does not get triggered. Now, I don't know if I can just reference scenarios or if it'll detect that I'm trying to fool it. Sections, I mean. Eric, welcome. So we're working on a financial application. We're trying to go from, we had it working observable, our top level tree view of things, and then the subtrees were both observable. We're trying to get persistence in, and we thought we would switch those to being the tree being a struct instead of a class. All right, so we're trying to figure out why things aren't updating. the dreadful part of graphic programming for me. Okay, so these are there. I don't think I reran though. I didn't create two. Now, observable is relatively new. I think kind of from last year, maybe WWDC. And DubDub is running this week, so can use our spare time on that. So anyway, let's make this 5500, 55500, sure, whatever. All right, so we started off with possibility set. Create, it added it, and it marked possibilities as changed. Okay, I'm gonna try something different. Let's take at least the way it is now. There's only sections sub-0, and we know it does an update because it calls possibility set. So I'm going to switch from using plan, which is what section 0 is, which did not trigger its set, to sections, which does. My hope is this observable is a macro, even though it doesn't start with £. It digs through all the fields and makes decision and compares it to all the views. And if a view uses some field, it it detects that and makes it depend on that and will update because of that. So I'm trying to switch from something that is not monitored to something that seems to be, and see if that makes any difference. Now, in the long run, we want multiple sections, and so we'll have to do some playing around with that. Yeah, there must be some sort of redraw thing. But I don't know. Everything gets more and more remote as it gets a little more sophisticated. Hey, there we go. Okay, so okay, so 24 hours ago, we were not in this good a shape. All right. So yeah, that's the problem. That for I don't know why, because well, yeah, I just don't know. We created this plan. It still shows my finances on our board, so we know that's there. But maybe did set detects the field change on. I don't know. It's got to be the same thing. Too weird for me. I don't understand 100%. I'm sorry. I don't like being in that position, but I just don't understand why the one would trigger and the other wouldn't. All right. Okay, so let's run tests and make sure we're good there. Yeah, let's see if we can find something about published an object will change. That's all the old school way, or the medium old school, because observable object wasn't there originally. I don't think. Here's something on the macro. Yeah, I say add observable. It finds all kinds of stuff. I don't know if I quoted if I'll be any better off. I guess I better say Swift. Yeah, I got too much stuff open now. Okay. Well, do macro. Bindable we're using. Okay. Well, I guess I can. Whoa. Wait a minute. What? Well, this is the one we just did. Oh, we just did some work on that this morning. One is not equal to two. Okay, let's run this test. And why that changed now, we didn't change how anything was added. Oh, maybe we do. No, that's right. Okay, so plan, let's step over this. Not a lot of output. What is plan? Okay. I think the issue is, sorry, this test, he's definitely not working with scenarios. Well, no, this is possibilities. Okay. And you add a tree to the system. Make sure this is what I thought it should be. Okay, that's that. Dot scenarios. One plan. Well, it's not hooked up right, is it? This is our my finances, but we don't have any children, and we just added them, I thought. Plan.append. Yeah, but scenarios only has one entry. So the way, let's make sure that's true. Or sections, sorry. Scenarios, did I do scenarios or sections? Section 0, yeah. Sections we created empty, and then in the constructor we append the plan, but nothing else appends to sections. Nothing else references it. So this was my original vision, was we would have my kind of like baseline and then plan and then scenarios on top. But right now we only have the one section. But oh, I know. It's I don't know if I can. Can I get a bigger font on this? Maybe. I have enough trouble myself. I'm sure it's even worse across. Is that editing? Themes? Yeah. Oh, that's presentation large. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to get much bigger. I can bump it up to 30. Okay. Yeah, because it's annoying. All right. So, yeah, but we're getting here in our test, right? We called scenarios, and this tree is not there, or it's not right. I don't know what I did. Sorry, let's make sure make stream produces a stream, and then plan.make stream takes the stream, returns a plan. Okay. All right. So, well, I don't know. Can I drag this up? Let's try. It structs. It should be kind of read only. Well, not the top one, but we're gonna create a new one. No, we're not. Okay, let's run this again. No. Why would I get there first on that test? Okay, so I've got or tree at this point. All right, he should have two scenarios, salary 1, salary 2. Okay, and he's an or tree. Name jobs. All right, that seems good. Now, I don't trust set.add tree, or yeah, at this point, I don't trust it. Okay, tree should be tree. Yeah, he's still that. Okay, plan. Okay, plan is 1AFA22. And let's print section sub 0. Okay, so he contains the plan as expected. All right, so if I step over, plan should still be no children. I didn't quite get over. All right, we're over now. Well, the type is not stream. So it should have said children was nil. Oh no, children has no values. So it should have done children.append. All right, I'm going to run this guy again. Setting a break here. And we don't want to stop. Oh, we need to get this one first. So let's continue. I don't know what these. Oh, that's probably adding these two. All right, so tree. We looked before. He looks good. He's got salary 2 in there. Yep. Okay, and then if I step or continue. All right, let's look at children. Well, let's look at ID. 55B1. Okay, this is the SUT. His plan. Children should be 0 values. Okay. We'll step. Oh, darn it. Ugh. Oh. I could have sworn last time we ran this, we did not have 2 things in there at this point. Okay. Let's continue. So, sut.plan has 2 scenarios. Well, all right. Well, no, let's go to plan. Possibilities. That's the scenarios, calling scenarios on this with a starter scenario. Children is 0. It's 0 versus nil, so it was not nil. It's an array of children. And I think plan, this was sut.plan. So this is when we got back, we had this with 2 children in it on an OR tree, which is supposed to generate multiple scenarios. Okay, so I don't think I want to start here. I think I want to, stop here. So let's take this. All right, run this same test. I guess I don't need to stop here. Scenarios. Okay. We'll keep going because we haven't. Okay, so now we supposedly created this tree. If we do sut.plan, he's got a tree with 2 children. Type is and. I messed something up. Oh no, the my finance is an and, this is an or. Children, 1 value, which is an or, which it has 2 children. Okay, no, we're okay. All right, so now our breakpoint should be here. Where's scenarios? Here. So continue should get here to 54. Good. Okay, and then type is and. Okay. I'm going to continue to here. We may have messed something up in this process. I can grant that. Continue. Never hit that. Wowzers. Okay. Well, this is maybe where... Okay, so this is where we pulled from the old plan tree. We pulled these 2 routines. So let's look at them. If there are children, if there are no children, just return the scenarios you have. Good. Otherwise, we start with a result. And trees feed the result to each child because there's only 1 scenario. Well, I'm sorry, every scenario that's active gets continued with the and. This one, now the concern is he's supposed to be doing child.scenarios. The and tree's child was an or tree. Here's the and tree. And here's the or tree. Jobs. Okay, so why did this not call that? All right, I'm gonna break here again. Put it a little more close. Are we looping over the root plan instead of children? That's a good question. No, we got children enumerated, so we number them for each. So we know children, this let says if it's nil, return that. If it's not nil, set the variable children to that. But like we didn't even hit this line before, so something's screwy here. Child scenarios, well, maybe it's this children, right? Okay, yeah. Over the root plan. Yeah, so when we first come in, we're doing the My Finance and node, and he's supposed to go through 1 by 1 and accumulate those. If all he has is streams, they just accumulate directly. If he has scenarios, it can expand out the scenarios, and they'll continue each of those kind of independently. It's a list of scenarios. We go through each child and produce a new list of scenarios with a list. Okay. Now, I don't know the best way to get at this. I guess they want to make sure the children here is the children that we saw here. he should have one child because the OR node is one child. So he should have called child.scenarios, which is this. He should have called it recursively, and that result should be an OR node, and he should have gotten here. But take out some more breakpoints while I'm on my way. And I don't know, maybe we would be better off looking at the old code that we migrated into the struct. Okay, so let's take a look at self. My finances with two zero values. Okay, yeah, we haven't hit line 60 yet. Okay, now we've hit line 60. We'll continue, and we should hit that scenarios. Okay, so let's look at self. Well, why do you have 0 children? Let's go back here. Back here. Sut.plan is BF25. Let's print section sub 0. Print sut.section sub 0. What the heck? Okay, here's sut.plan BF25 with 2 children. Here's sut.section sub 0 BF25 and 0 children. Okay. Well, we're due for a break. Let's take a break. I don't know how we're getting 2 objects and not treated, not updated. And if I had to guess which one would not be updated, I don't know that I would have chosen sections because we have that did set and it triggers. But I don't know. All right, 3 or 4 minutes. All right, welcome back. I'm thinking maybe let's switch gears a little, but I don't know. This is pretty damning here. We got sut, which is possibilities, has a plan with the right stuff in it, and section sub 0 with the wrong stuff. And what I want to do, it seems like, well, I'm not sure this will reveal anything. Well, I thought section 0 and plan would be the same, but they're not. Let's find that code. Let's turn these off and continue. That is in possibilities. So when we first run, we set up plan as the my finances, and we put that in sections. But, and this is where I don't understand that the did set, is that on plan? Oh, I took them off. The did set never triggered anything on plan, but it did trigger on sections. I don't get it. All right, but what I wanted to try was let's put 2 streams in and make sure it actually does and those streams together. So salary 1 is 1,000. We'll start that now. And then let's add salary 2 is 5,000. Starts in 2030. Okay. So this is the graph works off of scenarios, which is section sub 0 dot scenarios, which seems to have the right stuff. Now maybe the reason is like we're changing the top level object. Sorry. Yeah, we're changing my finances children here. But when we added a scenario, well, let's add a group. A group is another and node. So more. I'm thinking when we add stuff down here, it's not going to notice. So let's add S3 is 2000 and it starts in 2040. So we should see 2 breaks in the curve. Oh, it does. Okay, and then let's add another one. I am so puzzled. Let's be generous and start in 2045. And we should see 3 bends. I guess that's a slight bend there, but okay. So it looks like the adds with ands are working. But you know what? This icon, maybe that's the thing maybe this is indicating. All right, let me add another scenario. Sneeze. Okay. He is wrong. He's supposed to have a little icon that has arrows pointing both ways, like, I don't know. Okay, so maybe it's the view. Yeah, the icon should be looking at the type. But okay, let's see. What's that plan view? Change the name. I have a chance to remember. Yeah, here we go. Switch type. Oh, yeah. Sure enough. Okay, well, yeah, there's that left-right arrow. Okay. Finally get to see a stupid mistake that's easily fixed. I'll take it. All right, so now I'm going to add a scenario. Spell sneeze correctly. No graph, interestingly, but the right thing. Okay, so this is Social Security. One is 1,000 and Social Security 2 is 10, 20,000. Should get 2 graphs. One big, one small. All right, scenario 1 is blue, scenario 2 is green. Okay. Oh. Why I would make that mistake, that part I can't tell you. That just seemed too easy. Oh, I do know why. I bet it was a cut and paste. I bet I cut and pasted the and case and the or case and didn't change the other. Sounds like me. Okay, so let's run tests. But why the test would be affected is still a puzzle to me, so that still might fail. Yeah, there it is. But that's a different one, isn't it? Oh, they both failed. But in real life, it's okay. I mean, sut.plan is irrelevant, right? So this should go away. It was debugging anyway. Yeah, copy paste errors, man. All right. Why would you have a problem? You both have a problem, and you're both. Oh no, here's scenarios. Oh, that's two top level scenarios? Okay, that's different. I mean, make or looked like it was producing the right thing, yeah. Okay, so now the other piece that's part of what's killing me here is this some of this stuff is being done. The UI framework is doing some of this updating stuff on us. And just going through the code side in a way is not conforming to that. You make possibilities and you add a tree, though. That really sounds like what we did. In other words, why, when we ran over here, did we get the two possible scenarios? I mean, it's they both showed up, and yet doing the same kind of thing here. Now let's look at sut.add. I mean, maybe there's that's plan.append. Let me do section 0.append. Do I need the array around sut scenarios? Is that here? Yeah, you would think not, wouldn't you? Produces, oh, yeah, well, he's a sequence. I don't see anything wrong with giving him a count. Or count of int, okay. Sut. I don't think that's the issue. I think the section 0 thing is going to do it. Okay. Well, I didn't run them all. Okay. So it's a misunderstanding I have. Well, I guess in a way I understand. If plan sections gets plan, right? Those are two mean, this line should be a copy of plan. And I can believe that's a separate instance. And so we need to operate on that instance to do things. Let me just make sure the real thing still works. When the thing worked without the test working, that's not good, but it's not good if it goes the other way. So let's just check. We'll add a scenarios. Biped for 2. And add this one, 500. This 2, 5,000. Okay. Good. All right. Fix error in managing plan for possibilities. Okay. Okay, so this plan, well, let's find usages of that. I think it's going to be one place. Well, this one. Right, so I think this should just be this. Or even this. And that means this is not really needed. Okay, now this gets... Why aren't you generating one for me? Let's make sure this gets called plan list view. Has no accessible initializers. Why not? Stored property without initial value present since prevent synthesized. Okay, well that's okay. Init. We don't need this one. Why not work live? So, well, okay. I think the reason it worked live is the No, I'm not 100% sure. I think the first layer of children get in, but their grandchildren, it's not going to see them. Maybe, I don't know. I feel like my whole picture of structs just got kicked off center today. Unfortunately, thought I understood something. So plan is a struct. Yeah. And I had thought if I did a mutating function, it would generate a new instance of that. But how that gets generated and where it gets put it does not seem to. It keeps the fields it has and only updates the one that mutated. All right, but I think we're back to where we were a day and a half ago or whatever when we first started trying to switch the type and found out that our plan type was not not suitable for a model. Okay. Yeah, we need to persist. So let's tackle that, or at least start tackling it. We work how plan holds and uses sections. Okay, so I don't know. I still don't. I'm still not sure. Like your question of how it worked live, yeah, that's really puzzling. Because I know the add methods were saying plan, and so what happened is sections is holding its own stuff. Something must have been updating sections somewhere. That's all I can figure. And it was enough. It could do it at the top, but not any of its children, because they were updating plan. You know, because the view does. Okay, so now, yeah, we're right back to trying to figure out the model object. Okay, so the theory is a model is just like an observable, except it's got to do, everything has to be persistable. And so our intent is plan is, it's got an ID, it's got an enum, simple enum, string, a stream which has all simple things, and plans, which is recursive. But all those should be simple types or combinations of simple types. And we want this to be using that instead. Okay, and I don't think there's any other observables other than this one. People. Okay, well that's the tie-in to people is very loose. Let's just see what we get with this. All right, now it should complain about like modelContainer not existing or something. And somewhere. Well, that's the kind of stuff we don't want to see. No exact matches to set value. Oh, I think you have to have an empty constructor. Is that a thing? I think that's a true thing. Swift data empty constructor. Structs and enums. A class markup model can use Swift data immediately. Well, that one doesn't have it. We may have to mark them codable. Well, that doesn't sound like you have to have it. Can store any data, a model, codable, struct, or codable enum. Okay. I don't know, those messages did not sing to me. Okay, so that sounds like attributes should be on their own line. You know. Well, that doesn't matter, but so it appears some reason it can't call set value for a month. Var, well, it's not intended to be. You're going to get this at initialization and you're not going to change it. But let's try changing it. But I don't know. Does he have, well, those are all vars. Same example, more or less. Any class, any struct. Well, let's see. This is our first time doing any of this, so if it doesn't work the way we expect, that's to be expected. Okay, so still not happy. What's the other complaints? Referencing. Okay, that's all on start month. Sections. Set value for key sections to initial value. Requires plan to conform to persistent model. Okay, I think maybe we may have to label it codable. Start month, I don't know. Let me put an empty constructor. We'll just make a dummy one. Let me put a comment even. So you know it's weird. Okay. It seems model generates gets and sets. Yes, that's my understanding, that it's sort of intercepting them and doing its own thing when it sees that. Okay, so this is just curiosity. I think maybe, I mean, if it only complained about the plan, I would understand the problem. Okay, that doesn't help any. Referencing instance method set value for key to an array requires that plan conform to persistent model. Okay, so I think maybe that's where it was saying they should be codable, and I may have to explicitly say that, I guess. Gosh, I haven't done any of that in a while. Do I just say this, or do I have to give it a method? Does not conform. Okay. Ugh. I'll make an extension. When it is codable. Okay. And you will complain. Okay. Now, oh, my enum is not codable. Okay, that's fair. Does not conform to decodable. Now, he got the enum, he just said it. All right. This stuff. Yeah, that's. Okay, so if I define a struct that's like that, it's codable. Go ahead and perform the decode. Let's see about recursive. No, it's enums. Well, it's a little bit like what we're doing. Oh, that's actually a little better. Oh, and I really do have to do the codable stuff. I'm having trouble reconciling that to what Paul Hudson's examples. Oh, maybe he's saying we have to do those. I don't know. Hierarchical data. Okay. Well, no. Yeah, I'm a little puzzled. We can perform the decode. This is not code in struct though. I don't understand how that is enough. Okay, yeah, if you want to change the names, I know you got to do that. I'm not using actual dates, so I should be okay there. Hierarchical data the easy way. Struct user codable has struct name codable. Well, I don't know if I call it, I guess it's hierarchical. Put this inside. I don't know. Swift codable for recursive struct. Change it into a class. Well, it seemed weird to be a class after all this work, which it didn't like before. But maybe it's okay. Maybe that's maybe plan should just be a class, right? And the problem was we had inheritance before, but we don't have it now. So let's try that and make this model. Oh, I don't need the junk at the end. Stream conform to persistent model. There's a bug in the compiler that keeps it from working. I don't believe that's what we're going to do. Types of models. I've used a few enums. They weren't marked with model. Oh. Plan. I think I'm just introducing more things that are going to complain about the types. Plan type cannot conform to persistent model. Okay. But he can conform to Decodable out of the box. Mutating is not valid. Okay. I don't think that's what the problem is. Instance method requires for key that stream conform to persistent model. But stream is a struct. Now, I can understand date. Maybe date specifier need in money. In month year. Golly. I don't know. In person. Month is just a type alias. No, he's not. Oh, dang. Date specifier does not conform. Okay, because person does not conform. Identifiable, equatable, and codable. Make the property mutable. Am I down to the bottom? All right. Build succeeded. Okay, but it should blow up as soon as I try and run it. I think, without the model container stuff. But I think we started to do that. Oh, there we go. Boom. Okay. Failed to find a container. That's good. Because we were expecting it. And where's Fiume app? Because we started to do this and realized how much stuff we had to change. Immutable property will not be decoded because it is declared with an initial value. Set the initial value of either initializer to explicitly define could be. Well, state. I don't like that. Make the property mutable instead. Okay, let's. So I don't think we've needed this. Member model container. What? So the model container now. Add this modifier to your window group, model container for whatever. In my window group, that's that. Fatal error, find a color. Is this the problem? No, it doesn't want it there. It wants it on the group. Oh no. Import Swift data to the top. Okay, add model before class destination. Add this modifier to your window group. Model container for destination.self. Create the storage for the object or load it. Use that data in the window group, which is our app. Now, admittedly, our other spike doesn't use it. This error that just disappears is really annoying. Run tests. Is it the if? It doesn't like that? Because I can take it out. Was never changed. Yeah, minor stuff. Also, kind of irrelevant. Oh, Xcode. Failed to find a currently active container. Well, that's going to happen the first time. I don't think this has more examples. No. Yeah. Okay, let's clean it out. Maybe there's some confusion. All of a sudden this doesn't conform. Init from, now I don't know why that would be. Month, year, and person. Maybe month, year didn't conform. No? Possibilities cannot be constructed. These old errors. Okay, clean succeeded. Tuple view, content view, spike view has no member model container. Make sure I spelled it right, I guess. Get this over here, we won't lose it. Okay. Body some scene with a window group. Model container for possibilities.self. I think he spelled right. I just need one little one. No. Okay, there's the model. Okay. Initialize with only a schema. Okay, interesting. Size with configurations. Model container. Well, I can initialize multiple things, but well, they gotta have a picture. Okay, so I got a model. Configuring storage. Oh, they put it on the view. Okay. Maybe I'll take this out. Okay, let me clear this. Make sure we're not getting old stuff. Okay. That's just that. I don't know what this was. Closure indentation violation. Yeah. Not really fatal though. We'll try run. And a test. All right, well, I'm wondering if Xcode has lost its mind a little bit and maybe if I reboot that, but we're basically at the end of our time for today. So, well, what did we do? Well, we switched over from our original hierarchical class, our sort of non-starter attempt with an enum, and our final attempt with a struct. Then we tried turning on the persistence and switching that struct to be a one level class, no descendants. And we're getting balled up in the model container stuff. Let me just take this one out here. But yeah, I'm getting a weird complaint with no actual picture of the error. So anyway, we'll pick up there tomorrow, 2 to 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 to 8:30 p.m. UTC. Thanks, Mudshark. Thanks, Eric, for joining. And what was the other name? I lost it. Kitty Sushi. Okay. And the guests, if you're still here from, oh gosh, Code Rushed. Okay. But thanks again for joining. Thanks for your comments and interaction, especially. And we'll tackle the rest tomorrow. Good night.